too. I'm standing by too. Bye, 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 bye.
Y'all know we got a 27, but I rolled it, man. That can't be a...
Oh, yeah, boy, dog, I was running out there. Hey, Triple D coming there now. We can talk even to the boy, dog. 925, pretty boy, back quiet.
Just got my ears golden, boy. Big truck in Florida rolling. I'm getting down.
Triple D, man. Somebody got to be I'm out there, Triple D. I ain't heard nobody see me. I don't need to tell me something again. That's what they need to do. Still be on the time. I ain't heard nobody see me again. They still to go up front of me, so they keep down when they do something and pump up. What is it, Triple D? I'm down.
I'm out the way.
Spend money. Cause they know you wanna put it on.
Hey, 925 drivers on wave if they can. Hey, 925, your little brother around Big Car Motor gonna see if he can wave at you. 925, while you trying to do your thing with 222, your little brother on the west side, his Big Car Motor waves at 4 and 1.
I'm back on the side. I'm gone.
I just turned.
I
just turned the noise limiter and the noise blinker off. Limiters and blinkers cut the noise. Which is great, but when you have high modulated, high powered stations in there, and this is the Super Bowl. We're on the VFO of this radio, which is the manual side. So cutting off the limiter and a blanker, the receive audio for those high power stations clears up a little bit, but your noise comes in. So 6 and 1, 12 or 2. If it quiets down, we turn the noise limiter back on, and you can hear all that noise. See how it cuts it down? However, again, when the strong signals come in there, then they sound distorted. Not the best of both worlds. This is a very nice Tram D201A 40 channel with the black channel selector. It's been gone through, recap. Most of power resistors have been replaced. They set up the transmit on the VFO. And the VFO is accurate to reading, like we're on channel 6 now, if the channel selector's on channel 9. However, if you go down on the channel selector,
Hello, troublemaker. I don't know if I got no conditions neither on that doggone end, man, but I heard you ease up in my radio. Hello to you, troublemaker. If I'm getting it back from my mustache to my nose, troublemaker driver become motorway to Fort Warren.
like if I went to channel 1, that would take the readout on here 8 below 1, and that's one way to get some lowers off of it. And vice versa with uppers. If we put the channel selector on 40, let's say, then it would take the readout 31 above channel 9. So you get higher uppers and some lowers by hooking it up that way. Many ways to hook up the VFO. You notice one thing about this radio, no glitches and pops. You know, it's had, you know, light duty work as far as all that. Somebody else, you know, put the fan on the back already, and keeps it cooler, keeps those circuit boards from flexing and all that. And with the recapping and, you know, soldering solder joints redone, you don't hear the clicking and popping and poofing that you will see on a lot of the circuit board trams with this one. It's very nice. Can caps have been replaced with snap ends. You can see pretty much see some blue resistors there. Them blue resistors replaced the old carbon resistors. A little bit higher wattage resistors too with the replacements. Also, if you notice, this radio does not have a BA board. From the factory, the BA board would sit, you know, right where all those holes are and some of those resistors. The BA board has been removed and replaced with discrete components. And some of those discrete components are those extra resistors in there, right there, probably that cap right there. They just mounted them straight to the board instead of going through the BA board. And also the BA board has a has the low voltage power supply on it. And over here, that board there is a modern low voltage power supply, very well regulated, better regulated than the original BA board Tram low voltage. Plus it has the, I think, pretty cool digital readout on it. So without the BA board, that's one of the problems with the Tram D201 circuit board series. You got the BA board and the pins that originally set right next to the big bad hot 6L6 tube. And this one again, the components have been mounted elsewhere. Power supply over here. And you don't have a BA board sitting next to the tube. Plus you got the fan coming in right there. It gives you a little circulation, and this is actually the hottest area in the Tram D201 series with the circuit board and a problem child. So it basically takes care of the problem childs with it. One problem child that has been addressed somewhat, but is not totally fixed on this one, is the black channel selector. That's a known problem with the 40 channel D201As. The black selector was problematic, and later Tram came out with a gray selector that worked a lot better. Even though this one has been taken apart, lubed, and cleaned, the wear was pretty good on this channel selector, so you will still get some channel selection hitches and glitches when you're doing the channel selector up and down the dial. You can move it a couple times, you know, if it goes off, starts glitching and acting crazy, and get it to work correctly. However, this channel selector, you know, is a little bit glitchy. Once you get it on the channel, if you're gonna just stick to that channel, it'll be fine. But if you know old TVs back in the day, you know, you had to play with it or click it just right. This one does that sometime, but once you get on it, you're good. However, with this having a good VFO in it, one solution for that, and people with absolute bad channel selectors did, was just use the VFO instead of the channel selector. Because again, this one's a little bit glitchy. So if you're gonna spin around and all that, you know, go to different channels, it might be best to use the VFO on this one. Balanced modulator board, all the electrolytics recapped. Another big bad 6L6 tube, the plate blocking cap, that's that yellow one there. It originally had a 1,000-volt orange drop blocking cap, and what happens is when you start modding this radio for more than 100% audio, and especially if you do the high power mod too, where you bypass the dropping resistors for the power output, you would actually put more than 1,000 volts across that orange drop, original orange drop cap, and this one's been replaced with, I believe, either a 1,600 or a 2,000 volt cap, and works well, and you don't have to worry about overvolting it and shorting out the cap there. You know, everything's been replaced with the electrolytics. You can see the blue resistors in there. And again, no popping and hicking up and all that. Put LED resistors instead of the incandescents. That actually helps it run a little bit cooler also, because just like an old light bulb, you know, they ran hot, where the LEDs draw a lot less power, and it helps the radio run cooler. And then we're going to do underneath here. Not perfect, but very nice. You know, these radios, you know, probably came out in about late 70s, early 80s. So 50-year-old radio. You find a lot of them hacked up and in bad condition, and golden screwdrivered and all that. And one of the mods, I think this was not factory, it has the fixed bias, which gives the transmit more audio output power than the, or more output audio than the regular bias on this radio. I like the fixed bias. Some people say it's a little bit less stable. Well, it is, but you know, put new caps on it, good components, it's stable, and it does more audio. So I like radios with the fixed bias in it. Very nice Tram D201A, and this was gonna be one of my keepers, but I got so many, and I had a lot of customers ask me about D201s, you know, looking to buy, since I did that one with my hardwired that I'm keeping. So I guess the reason I'm making this video, because I'll let this one go, but it won't be cheap. This is a nice radio, it works. You know, the only glitch is the channel selector, sometimes a little bit iffy, but if you're gonna, you know, move around channels again, you can play with the VFO. The skip's still running. You know, but I can run this radio all day, no pops, no hitches, no glitches, it just runs and runs.
Hey, how about a Bubba Johnson? Hey, Bubba Johnson, Bergen County, you on the mail? Bubba Johnson, Bergen County, strong arm looking your way, breaker.
I guess I'll move it to the dummy load and do a transmit right quick. So we're on the dummy load. Turn the volume back down. And let's see what it does, right? Key her down. Should be going to the watt meter now on the dummy load. So it's dead key in 3 or a little under 3. Audio. Got a little bit of a squeal. I turned my mic too far up. Audio. 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 Just keying under 3. Audio. Swinging to 10 on talking. Shh. Shh. Shishing about 11. Whistling to 12. On average, mind you. And then last, we're going to put it on peak watts. From 3 watt dead key, putting peak watts in the corner. So that's what you get with that fixed bias audio, recapped, everything done well, I think. We like this tram a lot. Good talker. Well, great talker, good ears, no pops, no hitches, only glitches, again, the black channel selector, but you can work it off the channel selector, but just know that every now and then you're going to have to play with it a little bit now and then, not every time, to get it to settle down. Very nice Tram D201, non-original panels. The original owner put some nice finished panels on it. Looks nice. One of my favorites, but again, I got too many, and right now I'm real partial to that clean hardwired I got. Okay, that's it for this one. Bye.